Welcome to the Uzima Health and Wellness Podcast.
I want you to, for us who cannot get to psychiatrists or even to make the move towards counseling, there is something in psychiatry called personality disorders.
Right.
And I was always taught those can't be medicated.
Correct.
Give me an example of a personality disorder.
Right, there are three clusters. There's the cluster of people who tend to be shy and isolate themselves. Schizoid personality disorder, schizotypal. Those are persons who tend to have difficulty developing or growing or fostering relationships. So they either don't have any at all, or they start quickly and they stop. Persons who may actually want to work a job where they can be to themselves. Some jobs you're working in a warehouse at night, you're not really around other people, because being around other people creates a great deal of conflict and difficulty internally in you. A person may decide to have anger or hostility or strike out at others because they really want to decrease persons kind of being around them. These are not your most, verbal or talkative or personality engaged kind of people. They often don't have friends or relationships. There's another group that tends to be a bit more dramatic, histrionic personality. You're very outgoing and flamboyant in how you dress and how you speak and what you'll say and how you carry yourself. There's narcissistic personality disorder, where people unfortunately sometimes are overly independent and they just focus on themselves and they're a bit more, only about me, and I'm a bit more selfish in some regards. And other persons who may be antisocial personality disorder, where you may be involved in conflict, even if at times violent conflict, and maybe you take advantage of the rights of others and you abuse them in some regard. The third group is a bit more we call dependent. There's a dependent personality disorder. There's a obsessive personality disorder, where you tend to need others to do many of the primary basic responsibilities, I think, in your life. So you're right, these tend to be personality disorders and not full axis one main psychiatric disorder. So they're not like major depression or bipolar disorder or dementia or schizophrenia. They are bothersome and a bit problematic, but you generally still function. With a personality disorder, you can still go to get yourself a job and pay your own bills and live independently, what have you. But they don't lead to extreme dysfunction as an adult in American society or life. But they do cause bothersome concerns that make it difficult to function optimally.
Let me ask you, do these personality disorders, can they start to take shape in the teenage years? If you've had this child that, you're like, they got a personality. Is that
right?
Something that you hear?
Well, absolutely. In fact, by definition, they all can. I think you're right. But by definition, one of them, the one we call ASPD, but the acronym for antisocial personality disorder, by definition, it must have symptoms that begin before the age of 15, or you really can't make the diagnosis. So all of them tend to occur in some regards before you're adult, before age 18 or what have you. They tend very often to, we call them maladaptive patterns of behavior. They really speak to difficulty and lack of optimization and how we grow from our teenage years into our adult years and how we learn to function. Folks very focused on what you have to do in life to be successful. You have to stay out of trouble and get a job and do your chores at home and follow some rules and go to school and all kind of things. But as much about what we have to do in life to be successful is what you have to not do to not be unsuccessful. How you avoid the bad things that get you into trouble. Not just the ones that get you into trouble where you lose your liberty and you get arrested and go to jail or prison, but ones that get you in trouble where your family doesn't want to be around you much. You don't get invited to Thanksgiving dinner, and where you can't maintain a relationship with your friends, colleagues, and where you can't keep a job or those type of things. And you have maladaptive patterns of behavior. There's so many components of how you act that other people just don't really accept regularly. People just kind of get away from you and lose friends, and you lose the ability to build the kind of group friendships that most of us need to succeed emotionally in life.
Hi, Uzima family. If you like what you're seeing and what you're hearing, subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon below to be notified of our recent videos. What the doctor say?